You've had a lot of professional fights. Have you ever wanted to really hurt somebody as bad as you're going to want to step in there and hurt Colby Covington when you guys do fight?
No, my mom in the background telling me to quit saying that he might not make it out the octagon, but I don't retract those statements. I'm going to try to really him up really bad. Sorry.
Ooh.
Pardon my French. But when you disrespect my division, you disrespect the sport, you disrespect the team that I fight for, and also just the human race. You're an embarrassment to all of the above.
Wow.
You talk yourself, you're not somebody's about to say anything. They talk themselves into some smoke. Now you really got to see me. It ain't talk no more. And the fact that 90% of your social media is me, you need to have your man card taken away. I'm just going to hurt him. I'm going to embarrass him. I'm going to hurt him. I'm going to talk to him. And when the referee try to come in and stop it, I'm saying, hey, bro, fall back. Don't come in here unless you want this smoke too.
Wow.
If he look like he gonna stop it, I'm gonna take a break for a second. No, wait, no, don't stop it yet. Let the fans get their money worth.
The left, not towards the fence if you're Woodley to get that guillotine. Oh, something happened.
Time. That's it.
So that is it.
Don't run on me.
One of the best welterweights on the planet, and you got to think at some.
Damn! Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. TMIC on her, the enforcer. Cookies. I need some fucking cookies right now.
You serious?
What is up, guys? This is your boy Zilla, and welcome to today's episode as I'll be talking about the fall from grace for Tyron Woodley. And before I do that, please hit that subscribe button, also the notification bell, so you get a notification every time I make a video. Guys, let's get in this because Tyron Woodley, just to put it frank, got his tail whooped last night of this recording. He got himself handled, and even more surprisingly, that I didn't even come up in my predictions. I don't think he got finished by Colby Covington. Like, when was the last time Colby Covington finished somebody? Like, literally, Damian Maia got the crap beat out of him, and he couldn't even be finished by Colby Covington. And now Tyron Woodley got himself finished by Colby Covington. But you know what? Let's take it from the top of how this all really began. You know, Tyron Woodley's the champion. He's doing great, and then he gets put flat on his butt by Kamaru Usman. After that, people were like, oh, you know, he's focused. He's going to hone himself back in. But people don't look at what happened before. The unfocused, the fire going out of him as a fighter. He got complacent, and he got built up with the lifestyle. And in this day and age, with these fighters who are, one, not as famous, two, not champion, and three, hungry, these guys are coming after your throats all the time. And that's why the game passed Tyron Woodley by so fast. The welterweight division got so hungry. Like, in the time since Tyron Woodley beat an up-and-comer named Darren Till, which, you know, he's been on a rough patch as of late, you had George Masvidal knock out Ben Askren. You had all these events where these welterweights were getting better, getting hungrier, and it just came so quickly to Tyron Woodley, and you saw that fire just burn out. And no better fight to show you that burnout was with Gilbert Burns. There is no way that a prime Tyron Woodley would get rocked by Gilbert Burns in that situation. He has lost his fire, he has lost his way, and the question now is, can he get it back? And at this point, and I said it in my, review, if he loses this fight, it's over. Retirement. Dana White said it. I'm saying it. Probably everybody, that Tyron Woodley knows is saying it. He has lost the will to compete, and he is not coming back. Look, Tyron Woodley is a Hall of Fame fighter. At the end of his career, if he were to retire now, he's a Hall of Famer. 5 title defenses, absolute beast. But if he keeps going and keeps losing because he doesn't have the competitive fire or the will to do it anymore, he's going to rupture his legacy. You know who he's going to be similar to? PJ Penn. Maybe he'll pick up 1 win or 2 wins against low-level fighters, But do we really want to see Tyron Woodley degrade from a former champion, top 5 fighter in welterweight history to a 7th, 8th man contender, kind of what Robbie Lawler is now, and have him competing against those guys down there instead of hanging them up and protecting your legacy, instead of taking unnecessary damage? Because I'm telling you, if he can't beat Kobe, he sure can't beat Masvidal. And if he can't beat Masvidal, I'm questioning whether he can beat Nate. And if he can't beat Nate, then, you know, it just keeps going down and down. And if he loses to Diaz, there's no way that the UFC is going to keep him around. Yeah, can he sell a couple of fights? But after his value's been devalued to a certain point, they're going to cut him. And how will his legacy look if he, you know, loses to a mid-level 7th, 8th ranked guy? That's not going to look good on his resume, going from champion, losing potentially, you know, 5 fights in a row, and, you know, then quitting after losing to a lower level guy. He doesn't have the fire. He had a great run. It's over. Cut it off. Take your Hall of Fame spot. Take your place as a top 5 welterweight of all time. And maybe in 10 years he'll be a little bit lower, but you're a definite top 10 Hall of Fame welterweight fighter. So from this point on, if Tyron decides to keep fighting, he is fighting for his legacy. Not only is his spot, you know, as one of the great champions of the UFC, but a spot in that Hall of Fame that he is rightfully already earned if he keeps going down this road and potentially leading himself to a type of position akin to BJ Penn. But let's just say, for argument's sake, he comes back, which I highly doubt. Or if he does, you know, he may fight one fight. But let's just say he comes back, right? Who should he fight next? Now, a person that's been itching to get back in the ring, Leon Edwards, he would really be willing to fight him. And he's one of the toughest dudes in the division, the most slept on person probably in the whole UFC. Leon Edwards has a great all-around technical background. And if Tyron Woodley takes that fight out of desperation, he's going to lose that fight. Because you thought Kobe was crazy, you thought Kobe was a great all-around fighter, then you don't want to get embarrassed and dominated again by a nearly same fighter. Like, they're almost the same in their style and presentation. And then after that, you know, you got Masvidal, which will be a big money fight. But Masvidal wouldn't even take the fight because he knows Tyron Woodley's a bum. And if he lost to Tyron Woodley, he would lose all of his push. And he knows he's a moneymaker, so he's going to try and take the rematch with Nate Diaz, be up on Nate Diaz for another 5 rounds, keep the BMF belt, and try to go back after the title again with that added momentum. So then after that, you got Wonder Boy. They fought, you know, 3 or 2 times. They're not going to run it back. Then you have Damian Maia, a dude that he's dominated. I don't think anybody's interested in watching that. So then after that, you're getting down to low 8s and 9s. Michael Chiesa, do you know how much, if he were to lose to Michael Chiesa, it's over. The UFC should cut him, because everybody below that is basically, you know, not even on par. I mean, RDA at this point in his career, really? Are you going to put RDA at this point against Tyron Woodley at this point? No. Vicente Luque, yeah, maybe that's an entertaining fight, but he's number 10. So you're going to drop from number 5, where Tyron Woodley sits right now, to number 10. And then that's if we can get these guys. You know, these guys will be willing to fight, but there's so much risk on his career. Then, you know, if you really wanted to keep it safe and go Nate Diaz, I don't even favor him in that fight because of his questionable stamina and lack of pace pushing. You know, even if he is aggressive, Nate can take the punches and give him right back. So I don't even trust him in that sense. Yeah, could he fight Robbie Lawler for the 2nd time? But look how much risk he's taking there. Robbie Lawler's number 15 on the way out of the UFC. If Robbie Lawler were to beat him in the rematch or even come close, a decision win, it's over. You lost to number 15. He's going to be out of the top 10. Anthony Pettis, number 14, too risky. Nate Diaz, you know, money fight, still pretty good. Nick Diaz, really, scarily is the best option because it's the best fight he could win. And, you know, if he loses, who knows? Like, that's still a very risky fight. Jeff Neal, a no-name guy, can make money, too risky. Vicente Luque, very unknown at number 10. That was from 15 to 10. And he's kind of stuck in this position where the guys who are bigger than him, like, he's been thoroughly dominated, that the UFC is going to want, or his coaches are going to want to reset him in a favorable matchup. But then when you get into those other matchups, it's like, okay, even though he's favorable, he's either really not better than the guy by comparison in the case of Leon Edwards, or he's really, you know, a little bit better at this point. What do I think is going to happen if he fights up? The only option is Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards hasn't fought, and he will look to make a big name off of Tyron Woodley. He knows he can beat him because Kobe's beating him, dominating him, Gilbert Burns has dominated him, and Usman has dominated him, and he's just going to come feed on the scraps. Now, if he were to fight down, I think Woodley would probably take Chiesa, just because Chiesa's not a puncher, and he could probably maybe match his wrestling, and that's in the best case scenario. Now, if he were to get a little bit desperate, Neil Magny, Jeff Neal, Vicente Luque, but the match I think he wants is Nick or Nate Diaz. And Nate Diaz is probably going to fight Masso, so that leaves Nick, and we know Nick has been wanting to make a comeback lately, so that's really all the options on the floor. But what do I think is going to happen? I think if Tyron Woodley doesn't retire, he's just going to keep losing unless he fights Michael Chiesa specifically. I think Nick Diaz could beat him. I think Nate could beat him. I think almost everybody above, and some guys even below ranked him, could beat him. And, you know, that's tough saying that about former champion, Hall of Fame fighter, and a future UFC legend. It's tough to see it, but hey, man, that's the truth. This has been the best Gojira in UFC news. Sign off, guys. Y'all have a nice day.